And now, to conclude all of my September videos off, I'm going to be looking at a movie that I think is a bit underrated. That being Tower Heist. Made by the guy that made the Rush Hour movies and would eventually go on to be part of...
This thing will stay hot for hours.
That's what Brett Ratner said.
Tower Heist started its conception in 2005 as an idea that Eddie Murphy had. Slowly, a script was written over time, and it became more of a Ocean's 11 style comedy. Filmed in New York, with a lot of hotel shots being renovated by... I'm not kidding. That is serious. Look that up. The movie was promoted as a big ensemble comedy, as well as a big return to form for Eddie Murphy. We'll talk about that a little bit later. The movie is about a franchise-owning billionaire, played by Alan Alda, who gets in trouble with the FBI for under-the-table trade dealing with Wall Street executives, as well as taking money out of his employees' pension, meaning a bunch of his employees are going to be screwed over with money. Hey, give Daniel Clamp from Gremlins 2 credit, he wasn't that bad of a businessman. The building manager, Josh, played by Ben Stiller, soon is fired and hatches a crazy scheme to take all the money back, knowing that it's placed somewhere in Alda's penthouse room. So recruiting Eddie Murphy as an ex-convict, as well as some of his fellow employees, played by Casey Affleck, Michael Pena, and Gabby Sidibe, the plan for the heist goes into effect by a couple of bumbling working stiffs. Eventually it's discovered that the money is found in the form of a replica of Steve McQueen's famous car, which is made out of solid gold. As you expect, they take the car, and are soon arrested by the FBI for theft, along with their crook boss. But it's okay because Alda's sent away for good, Stiller takes the fall and goes away for only 2 years, and every employee is rewarded.
I will blow your face clean off your face.
I will smack your face off of your face.
Okay. Now, the first half of the movie is really slow. It had its funny moments, but for the most part, it does a better job setting up the story than it does providing laughs. Once Eddie Murphy is introduced in the story proper and teaches them how to commit crime, that's when it actually gets funny. From him teaching everybody how to steal at a mall, to him locking them outside with bobby pins to pick the lock, that was when the movie started getting good for me. Comedy about a criminal trying to teach a couple of middle-class people how to commit a crime against their superiors. Why does that sound familiar? Oh yeah. That's another minor complaint that I have. This movie was marketed as a big return for Eddie Murphy, and while he's shown throughout the first half of the movie, he doesn't really do much until the second half. And where's Eddie Murphy now, you may ask? Hiding in a cave with Mike Myers somewhere after they starred in god-awful crap like The Love Guru and 1,000 Words. Another thing that I did like about Tower Heist was the third act with the actual heist itself. It actually got pretty intense. The idea of hanging on for dear life, hanging over a giant hotel building is really scary, especially if you have a fear of heights. And I really like the characters. These are people who, despite working very hard, are viewed as inferior by their dickhead boss as nothing more but clock punchers and his personal ATM so that he doesn't have to go to jail. Seeing them actually prevail with the heist and come out as the winners is very satisfying. And speaking of, everybody does a very good performance here. Ben Stiller is basically playing Ben Stiller, like he does in almost all of his movies, but when he does it good, he does it good. Even if his faux New York accent was really distracting. Oh, come on, kid, this is just how we New Yorkers talk, alright? And if you don't like it, I had to come over there and break your friggin' toes, bozo. Eddie Murphy actually felt like he was doing a lot of his comedy from the 80s, which he still did pretty well in this. Michael Pena's character has a really funny bit when he's first introduced, saying that he had a job at Burger King before he was promoted as the elevator operator. Matthew Broderick plays his character very well, as a guy who's lost motivation for living since his family left. Is it a perfect movie? Absolutely not. Did I enjoy it? Yes. This is one of those movies I feel kind of faded away over time. It got okay reviews and decent box office when it came out, but after a while, no one really remembered it. But like I said, while it's flawed, I still found myself laughing at the comedy, the characters, and I was actually impressed with a lot of the cinematography. And considering that this was released the same year as that came out, I still think it's a decent little change of pace for me. So yeah, I recommend Tower Heist. Well, that's the end of my September videos, and oh my god, next month is October. I'm ready for Halloween.
This is Halloween, this is Halloween.